Hello, welcome to Mecaniquesportive, a YouTube channel. I'm Nicolas. Today I'm presenting to you the DACIA Bigster, but in a more specific version, the Turbo Control Efficiency 140 web version, because there are many versions, yet another one on the Bigster. Only gasoline and maybe a little liquefied petroleum gas version that will come. It will arrive soon, also with 140. But we tested the version with the new engine from the Renault group, the 1.8 i-Tech, which was really great in terms of fuel consumption. It comes in Turbo Control Efficiency 140 here, so with the 1-liter 3-cylinder engine, and there will be an Eco G140, which means with dual fuel, gasoline and liquefied petroleum gas. The car features a 140 horsepower 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine. A Turbo Control Efficiency 130 horsepower 4-wheel drive variant is also available. Fred and I had a blast at Univers Tout Terrain in La Ferté-Gaucher. We did takeoffs, got the car airborne, and had tons of fun.
And don't hesitate to watch this video because it's pretty impressive.
The vehicle specifications are 15 feet in length and 6 feet in width.
That's exactly like the Duster, and it's 1.71 meters high. With the modular roof bars, that's pretty good.
So, as I was saying today, in the Turbo Control Efficiency version, 140 horsepower. We'll check out the consoles, try various roads, drive around, and test its dynamic performance. I've owned them for a few days, so I can provide genuine feedback. The 2.7-meter wheelbase allows for ample rear space. The terracotta brown color, which looks great, was available at the time and came out on the Kangoo, if I'm not mistaken. We have a ground clearance of 21 centimeters on this car, which lets you go anywhere, and really check out the video. An all-wheel drive where I try it out now. Even on the hybrid versions, we have adaptive cruise control and so on. In short, we can see significant progress. And Dacia isn't really a low-cost brand anymore, so it's kind of low-cost that's becoming a bit more premium. Anyway, come on, I'll take you around, so we'll show you like this. I'm with my colleague Eric, who I just made a Tesla video with. We're taking the chance to accomplish two things at once. So this mixer, we have a really flat hood. It's pretty massive, and it's especially noticeable from the side, I think. From the side, the vehicle size is noticeable, much bigger than a Duster, but many of the same features are retained. But it was really reworked. The wheel arches are still plastic to give it that sport utility vehicle look. The covering wraps around the bottom and the entire car, just like before. On this Dacia, it's molded directly into the body.
However, what changes compared to the Duster is this big grille here, where we have little rectangles all over it.
Depending on the trim, this can change. On the extreme versions, it will always be bronze on the side. We still have the essential trim, and there's one in the middle. I forgot to mention the Day Suite trim and the extreme version. Will the being come back to me or not? The fourth essential expression, that's it. There you go. So I didn't want to ride it down, but it was tempting. A mask here, the license plate holder is very interesting. The camera here, since we have cameras in front under the mirrors. And as for the logo, this logo with the LED lights, that's pretty good, but we still have the bulb here. For the high beams, headlight A uses a halogen lamp directly under the hood. As mentioned, 4 powertrains are available, including a mild hybrid. 48 volts on this version, and even on the versions I have, we'll still have 48 volts with a small battery. That's interesting. On the front, you can see cameras up there for driving assistance and other features. The key that I left there, because as soon as I walk away, look, hop, normally the door closes. The mirrors fold in electrically, so that was also a request on both stars.
At some point, we have the mirrors, of course, electric. The Big Star has a distinct pot compared to his two sister stars, as mentioned by emplacement. However, in this specific location, it's not as evident.
It gives it a slightly more premium look with these two white stripes. Here we see the star that L incorporated into the wheel arches. And above all, these new 19-inch rims, which are really beautiful. It reminds me of little pistons like miniature Eiffel Towers or something similar. Anyway, they're nice, but the bigger the rims, the less comfortable it is. But since they've made this car super comfortable, it really does the job well. We have windows here that are much thicker than before for better soundproofing, and it's the same in the front.
We even have a heated windshield with little filaments inside, like the ones you find in a fridge.
This window, which is larger now, was similar to the two stars before. On this side, you can see the Big Star. You can see it here, directly in the plastic, and I have to admit, it's really nice. It adds a special touch. And when you really look at it from the side and step back, that's when you realize they actually look pretty good. His name, Big Star, well, it's actually pretty big. Well, you can imagine that if the trunk stops here, and you sit here, that leaves all this trunk space. Come see what's happening in the trunk. You'll see. It's actually pretty impressive. At the back, we've switched to DACIA in white. Here we have these little hatchings here with several textures there. Look, listen, it's funny. Rear view camera, it's still plastic. That's for the urban side, etc. It's better if someone hits your plastic than your paint because it's easier and cheaper to fix. The car has a rear window washer and third brake light. And now at Dacia, even the trunk opens electrically. I have to admit that's pretty nice. As for the trunk, we have a volume of 667 liters. And if you look at the depth, there's the tripod at the bottom. There's the shelf, which can fold down to 2 levels. You can put it all the way at the bottom. Over there, we even have some space here underneath, and we even have more under this mat. More space here with a spare wheel. And I know that's super important for people. So we even have a bin with a compartment, plus another compartment here. I have to admit, that's pretty nice. Anyway, do you know me? I know that if I don't do it, I'll get yelled at. There you go. I'm not getting any younger. Look, there's still some space left. Eric, you're going to get yourself kicked out. He wanted to lock me up.
We can fold down the seats by pulling a lever.
There, on that side, we're here. You just have to pull and boom, Samra goes over there to the side. And on top of that, we're in 40-20-40. That's actually pretty good. Come and see. I'll briefly show you the back seats. Eric, come to this side and I'll open it for you.
On this side, we'll have the fuel or liquefied petroleum gas cap, and I'll give you the consumption figures live.
So here, this is the bench seat, and it's folded down. What's nice is that they even thought of adding a little hook so the seatbelt stays attached to the seat right here. And when I come to put it in here, well, Nicholas, I'm 6 feet tall and I still have plenty of headroom and legroom. In brief, this car is quite good, featuring air conditioning, a USB port, C-mount, top tether, and ISOFIX. They've considered every detail this time, including a third seatbelt. It's simple, efficient, even though we still have all plastic doors. Well, after all, let's not forget, it's still a Dacia. And in the front, at worst, I'll take them from Eric. Look, say hello to Eric. Hi, Eric. He's the one who was helping me. Just in case, you can subscribe to his channel, Eric Steak. YouTuber friends, don't hesitate. He's really nice, and I'll make a video with him for you. On the Tesla at the front, I'll quickly show you again.
The interior looks a lot like Bigster. The animation here with the map. Wow, the seats, that's what they look like.
We don't have a big glass roof, but now there are small mats, comfortable seats, the 6-speed manual gearbox right here, a big screen, and the phone holder. All right, let's move straight to driving now. We'll see how it goes, especially on this type of road. At the end, I'll give you a quick recap on the fuel consumption we got. And now, without hybridization, or at least without a real hybrid engine. All right, let's get started on board this big Star TC140. Manual gearbox here, and we're going to do, as usual, all kinds of roads. I'm using the manual gearbox here, and as usual, we'll drive on all types of roads. I just reset all the consumption readings to 0 to see what results we'll get. I'm double checking that everything has been reset to 0, the odometer, and the consumption data. The consumption data is good, and yes, everything has been properly reset to 0 right here. Well, I hope so. On the road, it should be fine because on the way here, I saw some taxis causing a traffic jam. They decided to block the 8-6 just to annoy people, the taxis. I hate it when you do that because you're not bothering the politicians, you're bothering the users. So I just wanted to rant a little, but honestly, I don't get it. It's like protests or when the Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer Français bothers the passengers and not the people in charge. Having worked at the Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer Français for 9 years, I never went on strike in 9 years and I didn't like it at all. My boss was unhappy that I didn't join the strike, so he refused to put me on call. Because he said that being on call was for people who went on strike, so they could make more money and make up for what they missed during the week. We live in a bit of a strange country, but feel free to tell me what you think about it. That's it, so it's going to get started. The goal is to drive this car as far as possible, testing it under all conditions to assess its comfort and overall performance. And this time, with the 6-speed manual gearbox, so I had tried the all-wheel drive version before, which I honestly liked a lot. This time, it's the turbo control efficiency 140 with front-wheel drive. We'll see how it performs and also check the fuel consumption, which is quite important too. I'm looking forward to trying the liquefied petroleum gas versions to see how they perform then. At a stop, the start-stop and 48-volt mild hybrid systems work exceptionally well, as expected from modern cars. All right then. Gear shifting is quite pleasant. The clutch pedal is smooth. You can release it properly, which allows you to be really smooth when changing gears. The noise?
I deactivate my personal MySFT so I don't get beeps anymore. For example, I'm currently at 20 miles H instead of 30, so it beeps.
That the whole group, Renault, Dacia, Alpine, etc. The small one is my personal preference. It's the best button to deactivate and customize your preferred driving mode. Because now there are regulations that require you to have this, lane keeping, etc. Speed warnings in France can be beneficial or not, depending on the circumstances. Actually, they didn't plan for France. Because we change signs, but sometimes on the same street you can change signs 14 times on one street. And reading the signs, it's complicated, right?
So thanks again to Renault Dacia Alpine for putting this little button here to customize your driving aids.
It's a perfect day with a temperature of 18 degrees and it's starting to warm up. We'll see how it goes. I always keep the heater at 21 degrees for both heating and air conditioning. Anyway, as usual for all the tests, for me, my goal is my comfort first, and we'll see how it goes up to now. The Bigster, you know it a little by now. If you follow the channel, you've already seen the tests. It's actually a good car. It's pretty well soundproofed when I'm in my car. Honestly, I hear very little of what's happening outside. There are a few people coming from all over. Really, it's quite pleasant. You can hear the engine a little bit, of course, but it's much better soundproofed than a Duster.
Afterwards.
So we're still dealing with a 3-cylinder here, and a 3-cylinder always makes a bit more noise than a 4-cylinder. As for vibrations, honestly, so far I don't feel any significant vibrations. It's actually pretty good. I really like the hybrid version. On top of that, with this new engine that was really top-notch, I thought, wow, it's honestly a really, really good engine. Because it was comfortable and it really used almost no fuel, and that was a real plus. Well, I hope I don't run into taxis coming the other way on the road, so for this kind of light city and mixed use, well, it's fine. I'm sitting pretty high up here in my Bigster. There are plenty of people who like it, specifically that feeling of dominating the road. With my big hood in front, it almost feels like I'm in an American car with a nice flat hood. It's not bad. For me, the Bigster, I think it's a good car. We've got space here at the elbow. There's a huge trunk volume. That's the really big advantage of this Bigster, clearly. For daily use, it's fine. Right now, for example, I'm in 4-wheel drive, 4 here. In 4 at 70 in here, even though I'm going uphill.
As soon as the turbo kicks in a bit, it pushes back nicely. I go down a little lower.
And honestly, if you need to accelerate again, it takes a little bit of time. The time it takes for the turbo to really build up pressure, and then it's more than enough. So I set my wipers to auto mode. I thought it was going to be really nice today, but in the end it's not. Even in 5th at 70 it holds, and on the other hand, if I accelerate like this, I'm at 77, 79 actually, it accelerates. You don't feel it? It's very comfortable. So here we're moving into a 90 zone and at 90. Yeah, I'm even going to shift into 6th, and what I'll do is set the cruise control on flat. The cruise control then on this version. Unfortunately, since it's not an automatic transmission, I don't have adaptive cruise control. You mostly find that on cars with adaptive cruise control. Even at 90, low in the revs, it's not bad. I should try to get one. With the outline here, there was one there. So either I have global positioning system or I have a map and so on. I prefer using my outline and I'm eco-friendly. I'm at 1800 revolutions per minute, about 90 in 6th gear, which is honestly pretty good. I can hear the engine running a little, but it's good at 90, it's pleasant. Clearly, we know it's well soundproofed. Everything is blocked here due to the taxis. There's no one around, not a single soul. Ah, I got it. The lines are blocking everything. I'm not sure if you can see them. There you go. Ah, I feel like insulting you with every name in the book. There you go. There are about a dozen of them, you know. They're annoying everyone. They've blocked everything. I spent 2 hours here because of them. Really, I really hate you. Honestly, when you say that's how it is, that's how it is. Moreover, some people may need to go to the hospital, attend doctor's appointments, or take their kids to school. Or people who need to eat, diabetics, for example, who need to eat, and you block them for hours like that on the Beltway. Don't you think about everything that's behind all this? Actually, all that it implies, annoying people, that's it. That was my rant for the day. So me, in my big star here, I'm good. Luckily they're on the other side, honestly, luckily they're on the other side. So the goal here is to do a little more than 100 kilometers already, for starters. And then I'll give you a debrief when I return this car to give you the real consumption figures. In the longer term, I might try to do a long trip to see how it goes, and I'll share all that with you. We'll start by driving 62 miles on various road types, including winding roads and highways. That way, it'll already give us a good idea. Well, after making my usual KFC stop on the road, it's back to serious business. Currently averaging 1 1/3 gallons after encountering some minor traffic jams on national and departmental roads. A little bit of highway where the speed limit was 90 and I think about 10 kilometers. At 110 there, I'm also going to keep going to do 110 right here, normally at the Killers. Pretty nice. Now it's raining and the rain isn't going to stop, so we're going to finish this test in the rain.
And I'll do the presentation for you again another day, well, which is for me and which will actually be at the beginning for you.
But I really like this mixer. Honestly, it's pretty nice in almost all conditions. The only thing that's a shame, I've also noticed, is that when you set the cruise control going downhill, it won't brake because it's not adaptive, so it doesn't have access to the brake pedal. The small 3-cylinder engine has a minor downside. It provides very little engine braking. So even if it does let off, it's still complicated. Big traffic jams here. What's going on there? Usually there aren't any traffic jams here, so what's happening? That's not good. It doesn't feel right. Oh wow, oh wow, I really don't like this. Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, look at the size of this traffic jam, man. Alright, it's finally clearing up. It's just some roadwork and people love to watch roadwork. It's like with accidents. I don't get it. Why do you? Everyone stops to take pictures? Stop it. Let's set the cruise control to 68 miles H. So now it's raining a lot. So we have the sounds of the rain, of course, the sound of water splashing up a bit into the wheel arches. But to be honest with you, at 110, it's really quite good. It's actually pretty well soundproofed. I admit that when there's more rain, it's cooler. From here, the speed limit goes up to 130, so I'll stay at 130. At 130 kilometers per hour, I'm at 2,500 revolutions per minute, exactly at 130. And him, who pulls out like that, here, I'm on a slight incline, and the console is showing around 7 liters at the moment. Instantly, it went up a bit to 5.6 here in the traffic.
I think we'll be
around 7 or 8, in my opinion. Here, it's pretty much flat. We're around 6.5 to 7, roughly here. It's not very precise, but I think we'll be, between 7 and 8, in my opinion. At 81 miles H on the highway with this car. It's pretty decent. So here, the fact that it's raining, it kind of masks things a bit. The rolling noise and the engine noise. You can hear it a little, but it's not that noticeable. It's more the rolling noise that you hear. So even for driving on the road, I think it's still pretty decent. There was also significant wind noise. The hybrid version of the Bigster I tried, not the Duster, was actually pretty well soundproofed and decent. There, I admit that with the rain, it masks the wind noise a little bit, but in any case, it's not unreasonable. It's still a Dacia. We're not in a Mercedes either, so for me, it's still really decent. Here I am on my usual rough little road, ready to test the comfort of this Big Star. I'll never make it with this Big Star on this road here. So, to be honest with you, the suspension does its job well, it absorbs the bumps nicely, but there is still a very, very big issue. Here, there, hop, the hole, big hole, honestly, it does the job well. The really big hole here, it's okay. And hop into the sand, hop there, which one? I messed it up. The car, I accelerate again, goes back up to 80, 90 on the small country roads. As for the steering, the feeling is pretty nice, so what I like is this. It's very, very soft. On the other hand, when I take long curves, it doesn't lean excessively and holds up well. Honestly, I like the feeling. I'm well supported in the seats, it's comfortable.
All right, let's shift up to 6th gear anyway.
It's a good car. Honestly, even these country roads are really damaged. I won't lie to you, it's rare for a car to be this comfortable.
I'm being careful now because with the grass being so tall, you can't see the other cars.
Even over bumps and everything, it's really not bad.
It absorbs shocks well.
It's a good car. Honestly, I have to admit, so far I really like this Bigster. Personally, I would still choose it in the hybrid version, so I wouldn't have to use a manual gearbox in traffic jams and so on.
The hybrid remains far more pleasant and notably includes all driving assistance features.
It's more expensive, but if you get it on a lease, it'll just be a small extra monthly payment that's really worth it.
If you actually buy it, it's a few €1,000s more, but I think that it's really worth it.
Come on, we're on my little road where there's nobody around.
Here, the usual 0 to 100. Let's go. It's slipping a bit because it's wet. 5.
46, flooring it in first gear, then the traction control kicked in. 80, flooring it in second gear. All right, actually, I'm giving it a bit too much throttle, so it's actually limiting my power a little.
Hold on, I'll try again a bit more gently.
All right, let's start gently. Here we go. I'm shifting gears earlier.
Actually, it's slipping a little.
76, come on. 90 and 100. Honestly, for everyday use, that's more than enough.
The car has power and is light for its size. You can feel the torque when accelerating.
It's wet now, but it does the job really well, more than good enough. Well, here I am on my favorite little road. It's very winding.
So don't forget that it's soaked today, but honestly, even in dynamic mode here on wet roads, it doesn't seem bad at all. It opens up.
Slightly, like I said, it's soaked here. Also, we don't have any specific tires, like semi-slicks for rain, but yeah, it's not bad. Honestly, I'm still going at a good pace. I expected it to slide more in the end. No, I'm actually pretty surprised. It holds up pretty well. It's a very stable behavior.
Not really, I actually like it.
The SP if it needs to. Here, for example, it caught up a little bit because I tried to accelerate harder.
It performs well. Now let's test its heavy braking capabilities.
With the BS does the job. It holds up properly. A little understeer with léger. The front slips a bit when you push too hard, but it's a very stable behavior.
You can feel the engine's impressive torque because the SPS kicks in pretty easily when you accelerate hard, especially in the rain. Well, it's a nice surprise. I have to admit, I wasn't expecting it to be this good dynamically.
How many kilometers have we done so far?
Chief, 68 kilometers so far, with an average of 5.7 per 100.
I continued on, finding myself deep in the 77s. I took a large detour, covering over 100 kilometers that day. And I'll give you a little debrief when I arrive. There are going to be some small country roads like this. The rare ones at 80 and happy at 90, 110, a bit at 130, and then some city at the end. And I'll give you another little debrief when I get near the end, and I'll tell you, I'll probably give you another debrief.
Right at the end, when I return this car, check the consoles for the total.
After 127.5 kilometers driven today, I picked up the car around noon. 3 o'clock, Quite a bit of driving in the end, with a mix of city and so on, 5.6 on average, which is still pretty good for a fairly standard gasoline car, which is still a sport utility vehicle. So in terms of fuel consumption, we're really doing pretty well. And the car is still showing me 700 kilometers of range, so that's pretty good. All right, I'll give you a little debrief again just at the end of this video. Well, it's actually already been a week that I've had this car. I have to go to Dieppe for the launch of the Alpine at 290. I was supposed to go there this morning, but I got home at 4 antemeridiem due to some delays, as my Instagram followers may know. I have an average of 5.6 liters for now. Only driving in Ile-de-France, 322 kilometers in Ile-de-France, and an average of 5.6. Which is still relatively decent for a manual transmission and a gasoline car. It's clear that even today it's cost effective, especially considering we're discussing a large sport utility vehicle. And there you go, now I'm heading to Dieppe. I have 218 kilometers to go, 2.5 hours of driving, and tomorrow I'll make the return trip and then bring this car back. That way it really gives you an idea. We're going to be driving on a lot of highways, so basically, I'm going to fill up the tank completely. How much do we use with a full tank on this Bigster? All right, let's go. I just picked up the 13. Here we're going to merge and set it to 130, and then it's 130 pretty much the whole way. There are quite a few people. There we go, there we go. It's true that now, that's the thing, the highway, the automatic one, I hate it where you have to pay online. After that, it's okay, because if you forget or something, or for a lot of people who don't know how to do it, it's complicated, but it reminds you. There are still quite a lot of people here today, just outside the Paris region. Average just dropped to 1.5 gallons. Now we've reached 385 kilometers. We'll see what happens next. So I can even redo the little 110 stretch for you, which was complicated to do in the rain.
At 110, there's a bit of wind noise.
The engine noise is relatively well contained. Wind noise, you can hear it a little bit at the top of the car. I think it's mainly the roof bars, in my opinion, that make us hear so much wind. All right, I'm accelerating again. There we go, it's moving. It's going to reach 130, just fine. Here we go. At 130 here, so 130 in 6th gear. I'm just past the eco zone, which means I have to be at 2,600, 2,700 revolutions per minute. There's quite a bit of wind noise up top. It's no different from the version I made in hybrid. We thought maybe it was just early cherries, but no, it's exactly the same, actually. The engine, I hear there's an engine running, but it's still not necessarily disturbing. But there's still quite a bit of noise in the front.
Later, we played some music and forgot about it for a while.
The car still remains comfortable at high speed, even in terms of steering. We have a center point here that makes sure it's not too reactive. We'll monitor the fuel consumption. I had reduced it to 1.5 gallons, and now I have approximately 100 miles left until I reach Dieppe. And we move back to the right. We'll see how it goes, but honestly, it's a good car so far. Yeah, I feel pretty good in here. The fact that they don't have the automatic transmission and all the driving assists for driving. Once you get used to it, it's true that you really like it. I kind of miss it a little. Personally, I would have liked to have an adaptive cruise control. Well, welcome to Dieppe, with very typical Normandy weather. A nice little steady rain. 5.7, well, that hasn't changed. It went up to 5.8 for a moment on the highway, but there weren't that many times we hit 130 to get to Dieppe. There were a lot of roadworks at 110 and stretches at 90, not just on the highway constantly, but that's over 552 kilometers. Now that gives me an average of 5.7, which is quite reasonable. Let's be honest, and I think on the highway, it must be around 6.5, in my opinion. I think that's going to be the real average for this car, because I could pretty much see what was happening while I was driving. All right, well, gas station, since I have some left, 90 kilometers of range left, you can see an average of 5.8 achieved over 702 kilometers. So with 90 kilometers of range left. Suppose a full tank lasts until empty, around 500 miles, but in this case, it was about to indicate reserve. Often, after 30 kilometers, it instructs you to stop, as the objective isn't to reach 0.0. So really, on this mixed cycle, 5.8 here, it'll go to 5.8. Because I drove a bit in the city, I know how to get around here a little. Honestly, it's pretty good. 5.8 for a gasoline car with a manual transmission. I didn't necessarily go easy. I did some good accelerations and so on. Even in the city, sometimes I was in a bit of a hurry, very decent. So is it more expensive to go for hybrids and save a little liter per 100 kilometers?
It depends on how you drive, the conditions in which you drive. I really did a mix, and it's true that the hybrid, in all conditions.
Honestly, it really does consume a lot less because it's impressive. Then on the highway, for those who drive at lower speeds, this one will still suit them pretty well, even if on the highway you still save a little bit. Also, just a little bit with the hybrid, but well, Bigster, quite pleasant, you know. I drove quite a bit at 130 again, so there's a little bit of wind noise. We might have hoped for a little better. Maybe it will be in the next update, the facelift, where they'll think about it. Maybe we'll do slightly better with the soundproofing, but otherwise it's pleasant. There's really a lot of space in the back. That was a plus because I used it to transport things and even people who sat in the back. They were seated comfortably. So this Bigster, yeah, not bad. Personally, like I said, I would add a little more and get the hybrid version. I skipped the Eco G version. As soon as it's possible, I'll do it. I know you're really looking forward to this engine. Once available in liquefied petroleum gas, we'll check the fuel consumption, as liquefied petroleum gas offers even greater savings. Not bad for those who want the economical side. And Dacia is one of the few brands in France still doing it. And here's what it ended up costing me to do. That's 701 kilometers, which is 16.4845 liters, €1.67. That's a little bit, that's the app. The seagulls had a good time. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. 100,000 views. I'm picking a comment at random, so don't hesitate to comment and you might have a chance to win.